Hello everyone, Silent here and welcome back to another Bedrock Edition tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to build an upgrade to your existing Guardian farms and your Bedrock Edition worlds. And this little upgrade is a super overpowered Trident killer that can kill 18 Guardians at a time, and this will work with any Guardian farm that you have built in your worlds, as long as your Guardian farm sends Guardians to the nether. The reason why you want to build this upgrade is because it is a fully AFK kill chamber that doesn't require any potions or anything like that. You can sit here for as long as you like, and it will result in 103,000 plus items per hour because we're using the looting 3 enchantment to get as many drops as humanly possible. We also get to level 30 within 20 seconds of using this little design, and that means that we get to level 100 within about 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Overall, this thing is an incredibly good source of drops and experience as well, so you definitely want to build this in your worlds if you have a Guardian farm to go along with it. So let's check out this thing in action, shall we? I just turned on mob spawning, and as you can see, our Guardian farm is pumping out a ton of Guardians, and in just a few seconds in, as you can see, we're already level 15. This thing is incredibly simple to use. All you need to do is stand right here. You will notice that the Guardians are trying to target you and shoot you, but they never survive long enough to actually attack you. I've used this thing for hours and hours, and not once have I ever been actually hit by a Guardian. So let's take a closer look at this build, shall we? On the left side here, we have one redstone clock with the on and off switch, and that of course controls all of the pistons of the build. Those pistons are pushing one trident each into some chests, which are then killing all the Guardians through the corner of the block. As you can see there, it works really well, and usually all the Guardians are only a one-hit kill, unless they hop directly into a minecart and don't take any fall damage, in which case the Guardians still die within about 2.5 seconds. So we have 18 Trident killers going around this build, which means that we can kill 18 Guardians at one time, and that is how we're able to keep up with the extreme flow of Guardians. This is a Guardian farm that sends Guardians instantly to the nether, so they basically spawn directly into a nether portal for the fastest rates that you can get. So this Trident killer here can keep up with any Guardian farm that you build. As you can see, we have item collection down below here on the bottom, and as you can see, we're getting an absolute ton of drops from all of these guys. Your chest and storage system is going to have to be pretty advanced to handle 103,000 items per hour. In order to use this design, ideally you need 2 players, one AFKing in the overworld at the Guardian farm, and the second one in the nether actually AFKing and killing them all. This isn't great if you only have a single player, but you can do it. You would go AFK in the overworld for a couple of minutes, and then you go to the nether and kill all the Guardians. Obviously, that's going to give you reduced hourly rates, so this farm is best intended for multiplayer use, split screening, or those of you who have access to 2 accounts that you can log into the same world. So of course, this is a nether side kill chamber. This isn't like actually going to summon you any Guardians. This is an add-on, and you might be wondering, what Guardian farms can you use this design with? And the answer to that question is any Guardian farm that sends Guardians to the nether, this will work perfectly fine for. Ideally, you want yourself a Guardian farm that allows the Guardians to spawn instantly into the nether portal, so that as soon as they spawn, they go to the nether, and they are no longer in the overworld mob cap, so that allows more Guardians to spawn, and that'll give you the fastest rates that you can really get. This is my expert Guardian farm, and I just decided to use this one because it has that criteria with them instantly spawning in the nether portal. But you can use any Guardian farm design that you like as long as they go to the nether. This is your official one and only lag warning. Anytime that you're sending mobs to another dimension, there is the possibility of having extreme lag. For example, if the player at the Trident Killer disconnects and leaves the game, or just logs off, and the one player in the overworld is still AFKing at the Guardian farm, you could end up with thousands or tens of thousands of Guardians in the nether, and there's no real way to fix that besides either using commands or loading the world in peaceful mode. So you need to be very careful when using this build in AFKing. Not only that, experience orbs are also very laggy as well. If you are using this farm and it's active and running, and the player is not picking up the experience, you're gonna get some frame issues pretty much immediately. This farm has only been running for about a minute, and as you can see, we're down to like maybe 15 frames or something like that. If we go pick up all the experience, you can see that all of our frames return to normal. So you need to use this farm very responsibly, and you also need to make sure that you have ample item collection as well. Items, experience, and guardians are all extremely laggy things and the quantities that we are dealing with here. So be responsible, be smart, and make sure you have ample communication when talking to the other players that are AFKing and using this farm. Before we hop into how to build this thing, I do want to say if you are enjoying this video and you want to see more of these in the future, then consider subscribing so that you don't miss any, and then you'll also be helping us reach 400,000 subscribers on the channel as well. I have hundreds of tutorials and many useful things. This is just one of many. So if you want to see lots more useful stuff in the future, then consider subscribing so that you don't miss any. And let's hop into the tutorial, shall we? For those of you who are interested, there is a full materials list for this build down in the description of the video for your convenience. And the first thing that we're going to do is start off in the nether with a nether portal. It is a good idea to make sure that this is actually linked up to your guardian farm. As you can see, we got a bunch of guardians spilling out of that portal. That means that it's actually linked to the guardian farm. If you don't link it to your guardian farm before you start building, you might end up building this entire thing and then realize you're not going to get guardians out of it. So make sure you get guardians out of that. Now, the first thing that we need to do is go downwards by 23 blocks. We want the guardians to take 23 blocks of fall damage. That way they are a one-hit kill by the trident killers. So the block right here, that is the bottom of your nether portal, you need to count downwards by 23. So from this block all the way to here would be 23 blocks, and then on the 24th block is going to be your floor. So now that we know where our floor level of our trident killer is going to be, we need to install a temporary floor underneath this thing. So this is going to be 4 blocks wide, lined up with that nether portal above, and then we're going to expand this 3 blocks to either side of the nether portal as well. As you can see, this one block is lined up directly with the nether portal, so we're going to go 3 blocks to either side of that, just like so. Basically, the guardians are going to spill out either side of that nether portal, to the left and to the right, and then they're going to fall down into this area. Now we're going to go ahead and place a hopper facing downwards on top of every single one of these blocks right here, and that is going to be the foundations of our item collection. Now the bed of hoppers is in place, we're going to go ahead and put in all of the carpets in the middle and just leave the ring of hoppers around the edges uncovered like so. These carpets are going to keep all of your minecarts in place and keep your experience from getting stuck in the hoppers as well. And now we're going to place a wall of glass going all the way around this ring of hoppers on the outside edge. This will contain all of your guardians and all of your minecarts too, and just keep everything inside of the farm. We now need 2 pistons to either end of this little area, so 2 facing towards the middle like so, and then 2 on this end over here as well. And of course, these are going to be for the trident killers. We now need 7 pistons on the left side and 7 pistons on the right side as well. And of course, these are all for the trident killers too. So basically 1 along every single block of that wall, and then do the same thing on this side. And this is what you should have so far. And now we can go ahead and remove this pillar of counter blocks. You no longer need this, and it's just gonna kind of be in the way. And now we need to start getting the minecarts into this build. We're gonna need 18 minecarts in total, 1 above each one of these hoppers going around the outer edge. Now this might be a little bit frustrating at times, but be patient with it. The minecarts are a little bit finicky, but this has to be done in this kind of way. So we're gonna start at one end of the build and place in 6 temporary blocks like this. Place in yourself 4 pieces of rail, and then get 3 minecarts onto that rail like so. We need to get another minecart on there, so push another one in from above, and that should kind of snap down onto that rail, and then you should have 4 right there in that area. We're going to go ahead and place in some more temporary blocks right here so the minecarts don't fly out the backside, and then break these blocks as fast as you can, and you should have 3 of them kind of fall down. You'll usually get one of these stacked up on top of another one. That's fine. You'll need to move this with your feet and with your player, and just kind of shuffle that around until it falls down, and that is your first 4 installed. You want to do that exact same process on the other side right here. And now we have 8 minecarts. As you can see, some of these are a little bit crooked and disheveled looking. That's perfectly fine. They're not really going to move at all. So now we're going to fill in the sides here. So place in 5 temporary blocks to keep these ones separated. And then we need some more temporary blocks there and right there as well. Place in your 5 pieces of rail, 1 minecart on either end, 1 minecart in the middle, and then you can place in 1 more minecart for a total of 4. And now we need to get our 5th one in there as well. So just drop that in from the top. That'll snap to the rails. We're going to break out this block right here and then all of the other ones. And as you can see, we got another one stacked up that's normal. Walk along the edge until you can shuffle that towards like the middle area. And we're going to try and push that into this little gap right here. So fall down into that gap. Just kind of push those guys to the side. They shouldn't really give you any issues. And then we need to push that one into the little gap. It's a little bit annoying, this method, but we can't have these minecarts on rails. Otherwise, they'll get broken by the tridents, and we can't have them any higher or any lower. They have to be at this exact height to work for the trident killers. And we also can't use boats either. So this is just kind of what we got to deal with. But as you can see, we now got all the minecarts on this side installed. And you need to do that same little process on this side over here. And now all of our minecarts are in place. As you can see, they're a bit crooked looking. That's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter. They're going to get slightly scooted around by the guardians anyway. But the carpets should keep them more or less in place. And now we need to install all of our chests. So at this end right here, we're going to install 2 double chests, 1 to the left and 1 to the right, and then install a double chest right there like so, a double chest like that, and then scoot around to the other side. You want 2 double chests right here, double chest there, and a double chest there as well. 1 more chest right there, and 1 more chest right there too, and that is going to be holding all of your tridents in place, and that will keep them from falling down. And now we need some additional glass blocks in these 2 locations right here, and these 2 locations right there. That is going to keep your tridents from falling out of the farm, and just basically help keep them in place. And we also need these glass blocks on the other side as well. And now you need to decide where you want your on and off switch to be. It can either be in that corner, or if you're facing the other direction, it can be in that corner right there. Or really, you can have it anywhere. You can make the redstone a little bit custom if you want to, but I'm going to be building the on and off switch into this area right here on this corner. Anyway, that means that we need ourselves 4 slabs, 1 slab right there, and 3 more right there, and then a solid block on top of that piston. Go around to the opposite corner, and you also need 4 slabs in this area, and then a solid block on that piston right there as well. Installing the redstone clock is pretty easy. You want to have yourself a solid block there, and right here as well, and then 1 more right there. Install yourself a repeater right here on 2 ticks, redstone dust, and then a redstone torch right there. Finally, get yourself an upper slab right there, and then just install yourself a bunch of redstone going all the way across here and into that solid block like so. That is going to activate all of those pistons, and then you simply need a redstone line going from here all the way to the corner and then directly into that solid block. And that is now all of your pistons churning on from your redstone clock. Your off switch is going to be going right here on this block, and then if you flick that, that is going to turn off the entirety of your trident killer. We also need to rip out all of these temporary blocks that we placed at the beginning of the build and replace this with your storage of choice. So this is really going to be completely up to you. For the purposes of the tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead and put in a bunch of double chests underneath this build, and then that'll be enough storage for about 20 to 30 minutes of running the farm. Keep in mind that you can extend this into item sorters or bulk storage or whatever you want to do. Storage is entirely up to you, and everyone wants to do their storage differently. And now we're going to finish up the build. So go ahead and place 5 glass blocks above all of those chests right here and all of those ones right there. 2 glass blocks there and 2 glass blocks there as well. We're then going to go ahead and place in a few slabs at this layer right here, and this is going to extend into your walkways, your hallways, whatever else kind of infrastructure you got. And this is basically going to be the entrance to your AFK spot. Now we're going to place a slab right here, and then 3 glass blocks going up to the other side of that, a glass pane right there, and then an upper slab above that like so. Go ahead and extend these walls up 3 blocks as well on either side, and then once you have all of these built up, we need to extend these walls all the way up to the nether portal. So basically build them going all the way to the very top of the nether portal. Once you've extended them to the top of your nether portal, just go ahead and put a little cap above here as well. That way there's absolutely no way for any guardians to ever shoot out of these tubes. You also need to expand these glass pillars going above the AFK spot as well, so make sure that you expand this going all the way up. And now it's time to throw the tridents into your build. You can use any type of trident that you want. It doesn't need to have any enchantments. It can be any durabilities. They will never break, despawn, disappear, or otherwise vanish. And if you would like to know more about trident killers and how they work, then you can check out my trident killer tutorial in the upper right, where I go over all of the mechanics. Any player that wants to use this build will need to pick up and throw the tridents, because these are linked to the player who throws them. So basically, you want to throw one trident in front of each one of these pistons, going all the way around the build. And then for this one right here, just throw the trident directly on top of that piston arm. So now the trident killer is actually active. Whoever threw the tridents will need to be logged into the game and holding a looting 3 sword for the looting 3 effect to apply to the guardians, and for them to drop all the things that they should drop. If you go ahead and get a player AFKing at the overworld side of the guardian farm, you'll see a bunch of guardians drop down into your farm, and then you can stand here and gather all the experience. You want to stand directly in the middle and all the way against this glass pane. That way you get all the experience from all of the corners and none of it is left behind. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's Bedrock Edition tutorial, then of course let me know in the comment section down below. I'm always trying to help you guys out as best as I possibly can. And otherwise, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. It significantly helps out the video and the channel a ton. If you're new here, then consider subscribing so you don't miss a future content and tutorials on the channel. Help us reach 400,000 subscribers. And otherwise, I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. And then there was silence.